Miracles of what? Healing your life. Yeah. Yes. Miracles of the heart. That's what it is. Miracles of the heart healing your life. And so today she's going to talk to you about unity principles and how we can incorporate that into our life. So this is
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity. And I brought some notes just because you know how life is. You've got to have a little bit of notes in your life, whether it's on a sticky or typed out. The reason I'm so excited to share is because the spiritual journey has been so important to me. It has saved my life. And I am passionate about sharing the principles of how we heal. And the reason being is because I've noticed that myself had struggled throughout my life. Like, do I deserve to make money? You know, could I just do what I love? Like, is that okay? Can I be peaceful? Well, not if people are hurting my feelings and I'm carrying around these giant resentments. And can I have love in my life? In the early part of my life, I didn't have a love that I understood or met my own personal needs. So how do we navigate this planet? I mean, you just come in and you go, this is crazy. It's a crazy place. So I was a very scared child, and I came by it very naturally. My parents had in their bedroom not a red phone, but a black phone, and you were never allowed to answer this phone. But if it rang, it meant something terrible in the world was taking place. Because it was a general who was calling my father, who was head of logistics for Strategic Air Command, that they needed to get planes or they needed to coordinate with the other military, arms of the military. And the world was kind of a scary place. There was barbed wire where I lived on Air Force bases. There were attack dogs. There were MPs all the time. And there was the looking glass, which was the plane that was going up every 3 hours carrying a general in it in case our base was destroyed. The Air Force could go on. It would be going on from up above. And take your daughter to work day was going 5 stories underground and looking at a map of the world where there were all the danger zones. And oh, and here's the red zone in case we have to go into nuclear war. I mean, this is so scary. And then on top of that, my concept of father, you know, we talk about Father, Mother, God, or Father, our Father, and our Father. Well, my dad was kind of, how would you describe? Well, if you didn't salute him when he was giving you an order, in his world, you were court-martialed. So how did that translate to our life and our nucleus family that was moving every 1 to 3 years? And I was pulled out of schools, pulled out of friends, no family, and a father that was so strict and just such a kind of cruel and dangerous man. So that need to find safety and to feel loved was huge for me. And I first felt a little bit of love when I was 5 years old, and I got to go to my mom's church, which was Southern Baptist, to go to Bible school. And I was introduced to the hippie who said, Jesus loves all the little children. And I went, oh, I'm one of those little children, black or white. And I thought, this is where I'm going to get love. So when my dad said, your teeth are going to fall out if you eat candy, I'd lay all night long with my mouth open so Jesus could heal my teeth. And I would be okay. And then at 8 years of age, I got to be in the junior choir at the Protestant church on one of another bases. And I got to sing Christian music. And I went, oh, this is love. This feels good. And then as I got into my teen years, I started looking at Hinduism and Buddhism and different paths to feeling love. But it wasn't until I was 17 years of age and I overdosed on LSD, window pane acid. And fortunately, I didn't die, but I had the Timothy O'Leary experience of oneness and bliss and God. And I went, that's it. That's what I want. I want to feel that all the time. So then it was like trying to recapture it. I didn't do LSD again, but I did other drugs, and I did a lot of alcohol, and I did sex, and I did food, and I tried every self-help, and I was like, I want to feel that again. I want to know what that feels like. I want to access it. And so by the grace of the universe, I got to go to Consciousness Training Institute in my late 20s because I was pretty desperate. I was married, I had 2 little children. I was in a marriage that was very familiar. I thought people were not supposed to love each other. I thought they just tolerated each other. Not that my parents didn't love each other, but for me, that's what it felt like. So I got to go and I got to learn about meditation and distant healing, and I got to access it like this much. But it was enough to know that I could do it without taking a substance. And that set me down this road until I tried Quaker, I tried Unitarian, and everything. I tried, revivals, I tried everything. And then I found unity, and I went, this really appeals to my logical brain. That there is a power and a substance under all life, and that substance is love, all power, all peace, and that if I can get my consciousness to the state that Jesus of Nazareth did, to go into the Christed mind, I too could experience the oneness and the bliss again. And I believed them. And it worked. It worked. And it was founded by people that were really sick. Myrtle was sick. She had a death sentence. She was supposed to die in 2 years. She had tuberculosis in the late 1800s. And her husband had a leg that was, practically a foot too short and a hip that didn't have a socket. They were sickly. And they healed their lives, and she did it pretty rapidly. She did it pretty rapidly through the principles that they taught. And then she went out and she taught other people. And then they set up a place of prayer, and for 100 years they've been praying there. When you walk on those grounds, you feel it. And I used to call so frequently during my earlier years to Silent Unity for help, that I was embarrassed that they were going to recognize my voice. It's like, oh my God, she's that girl, the girl's calling again. She's got another problem. And then one day I called, and I, many years later, still calling, and I was in one of those weepy moments, and I said, hey, ever not going to be able to call you people? And the woman was from Texas, which, my mother's from Texas, so it was just made my heart glow. And she said, honey, over the phone, when you flat trust God, you don't have to call us anymore. And I was like, okay, now I know. I know what I gotta do. I gotta flat trust God. But how? How when the world, is coming at you, and you've got 2 little kids, you don't have any money, you gotta but I have to tell you, I've been led down this beautiful road, and not that we haven't had problems, because of course we do, and of course we have obstacles to overcome, but through the lessons of that we can do what the Christ did, the Christ light, the Christ energy. We can heal the sick, we can raise the dead, we can change the weather, we can multiply the loaves and the fishes. And in this path of this new thought, principles, and unity, I have had those experiences. And yes, I'm an energy worker practitioner, but that's not how it's been done. Yes, it's a tool, I love it, I'm good at it, dowsing, but the way it's done is available to all of us. And it's taking our consciousness and joining into the consciousness of the divine. And we do that through the principles that we've been taught here. And you can give me my 1 minute, or if I go over, give me the signal, because I get it. We've got lots of fun stuff to do. But I am sharing a workshop this afternoon because this is what I love to do. I love to share what I do, and I love for you to really embrace it, that this is for all of us. Not just for the song, it's for every single one of us. To do that work in our own life and for the work of our loved ones. And Trinity and William went and they gathered fresh vegetables at a farm yesterday, and they made us a gorgeous salad. And we have a pasta salad with this gorgeous, gorgeous vegetables. And Mark is making us wraps. So you have plenty of food, and this will be experiential. It's for building community around these principles so we can have these conversations and know that we're in the right place together. And if you can come, I'd love it. If you have to cancel your other plans and come, I would love it. It's a love offering. You do have to eat lunch, so you might as well eat lunch with us. And I want to thank Trinity also for bringing, I love creating art, so there's a little PowerPoint that goes with this for us to have these discussions about how our life is going, where we want to make some changes, and how these principles that we teach here and what we experience here, the power of the presence, how it absolutely will change our lives. I know I'm living proof. I really believe I shouldn't be here. I'm living proof that I'm still here on the planet. And I'm grateful for all of you that you're here today. Thank you.